are you? I hope that you're fine. Today we are going to do an exercise about color and color mixing. So this is just to bring you a bit more awareness of how the color is affected by other colors that are around it. Okay? We are going to test our color mixtures and we're going to put them next to other types of colors. Okay? And we're going to see how they are going to look. Remember, those are exercises, so it's not about tightness of your sketchbook, it's more about the process and production of it. If you want, you can create some spaces for yourself in the sketchbook, or you can just work on the plain paper, that's fine. First thing that you will need to do, you will need to create some sort of color that is going to be your main color, and you're going to look how it's going to be affected. I've got my palette, I've got my tissues, I've got some water. I can start creating my first mixture that I'm going to test. Because I'm going to use exactly the same color over and over in a few different places, I need quite a lot of that mixture. I think I'm going to go with some sort of orange as my main color. I can break it, for example, adding a bit of white into it. But my first mixture, I want a decent amount of color. So, and I'm going to actually have one brush dedicated to this color because I'm going to use it over and over again. Let's have a look. If we are going to create a space with the color, just going to do a little square. At the moment, it's on the white paper, so it sort of looks exactly how it was looking on the palette, right? Okay. Even if I'm going to use some white color around, because this white is very close to the color of my page, that doesn't affect this color much. So let's see how the same color would look if we have a different color around it. Here you've got an option of either mixing some new colors or using something straight down from the palette. Maybe I'm going to take this dark blue. On the video, that might not be clear, but if you come a bit closer and have a look, do they look the same? No. What's happening here? Absolutely. So the darker color, it's making this exactly the same color more vibrant. So that sort of proves for you that colors are relative. So depending what's happening around the colors, they're going to look different. That's why when we've been working with this still life, we've been tackling the background. Okay, we'll be starting with the background so we can then assess properly what's going to happen. What if I will reverse the situation? Okay, so I'm going to put my color, my secondary color in the middle and use my primary color around. Okay, what's happening? Yes, okay. So my primary color affects my blue. And this primary color looks less vibrant because there's more of it comparing to the blue. What if I would actually do something similar, but create a mixture of the color? Because at the moment I've just used the color straight from the palette. So let's say I'm going to create a different color, let's say bluish brown. So what is happening here? What can you see? Absolutely. Because my orange is so much stronger in color that this looks much more grayish than when it was on the palette. Okay. What's happening in the second situation here? It's definitely looking a bit darker because the colors are, yes, because it's intact, like enveloped in another color. So my gray is affected by the orange. The orange, because it's got such a massive surface, doesn't change as much as in this situation or in this situation, but definitely the middle looks a bit darker. So the whole point of that is to show you the nuances in between of the different colors. All right? This is something that it's a very good practice for you. Every time you're changing the sets of the paints or using different types of the paints, acrylics, mix from watercolors and so on. Every time you're changing the brand from Winsor & Newton, let's say system 3, because the colors will behave slightly differently. Okay, and this is something that I would like you to take in account in your project, in your abstract project. So what's your first task for today? The first task for today for you is going to be to create 4 different type of mixtures. So I want you to do what I've done here 4 times. You could basically just divide it like that. And I would like you to try 6 different combinations for that color each. This is your first task. 4 times of this exercise. The second task that you're going to do, when you actually try different colors, I would like you to pick up some of the colors that you've already created and start thinking about putting them next to one another, okay, creating compositions. And I would like you to create 4 of those as well. So let's just imagine I've got tons of those colors here on the page. And let's say that those 2 they are the one that I really like, the gray and the orange. So what I can definitely do is I can just do it on the one piece of paper. We're going to work with squares. I'm going to square myself some paper so it's much easier. And in this situation, you could add black or white as well to your mixture. So you can treat this as the same color, just with a different value. Picking up 2 that you like and start thinking how those 2 mixtures that you like, how you can create an abstract composition from them. So I want you to play a bit with it. Maybe it is something like this. I am going to create a background. You see I'm having a paper underneath my paper. So I don't have to clean the table because I'm a bit lazy. You can play with the value. You can play with any techniques that we've learned so far. So we could do the blending, or we could add texture, so do something opposite. And then let's say, at the moment, is that interesting? No. So maybe I'm going to change this composition into something like that. I'm going to add this line here. Still not very interesting. So maybe I'm going to add a darker element. Oh, what if I would have a smaller, darker elements in here? How would that balance it? Still not balanced. So I'm going to play with it a bit more. Maybe I need to add something like this. Maybe I need to add some lines. Oh, that's kind of interesting. What do you think? Maybe I'm going to have some texture in that area. I think I need something darker. So maybe I'm going to take this color and get some dark version of the same color. So maybe I'm just not going to add any white into it. So have something like that. And maybe there could be a small element in here. I like that. What if I will pretend that there are some shadings underneath? Yeah? So what I'm doing, I'm just playing a bit with it. Okay? And I want you to do it 4 times with 2 mixtures that you can make either darker or lighter. Key point here is I don't want you to do it super precise. This is just an exercise to allow you to play a bit with the compositions. I hope that you've enjoyed this process. Thank you very much.